Life has a way of pulling at us from all directions, doesn't it? You wake up every day with responsibilities, expectations, and the weight of the world resting on your shoulders. You push through, doing your best to hold it all together, but deep down you feel it, the exhaustion creeping in, the heaviness pressing down on your spirit. Maybe you don't talk about it. Maybe you put on a brave face for your family, your friends, your coworkers, but God knows. Oh, He knows. He sees beyond the surface, past the smiles and straight into the depths of your soul. There comes a time in every life when the weight feels unbearable, when no amount of sleep can quiet the fatigue in your bones, when even the things that used to bring joy seem like one more thing to check off the list. You sit in silence, wondering if anyone truly sees what you're going through. You go through the motions, but inside, you're weary, tired of fighting, tired of pretending, tired of carrying burdens you don't even have the strength to name. And in those moments, you might wonder, does God even see me? Does He know how much this is weighing me down? Let me tell you something. He does. He knows the weight you carry, and He knows how long you've been carrying. He knows the battles you fight in secret, the ones you don't talk about because you think no one would understand. He knows the prayers you whisper in the dark when sleep won't come, the ones where you say, Lord, I don't know how much longer I can do this. And He's not ignoring you. He's not standing far off, unmoved by your pain. He is right there with you, closer than your next breath, feeling every bit of what you're going through. The world will tell you to keep pushing, to hustle harder, to suppress how you feel and just get through the day. But God says something different. He says, come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. He's not looking at you with disappointment, wondering why you can't handle it all. He's not shaking His head, telling you to be stronger. No, He is reaching for you, offering you a rest that goes deeper than a nap, deeper than a vacation, deeper than anything this world could ever provide. You see, being tired doesn't mean you're weak. It doesn't mean you lack faith. It means you've been carrying more than you were meant to carry on your own. And that's why God is inviting you to lay it down, to bring it to Him, to stop trying to be everything for everyone without first allowing Him to pour back into you. Because the truth is, you can't pour from an empty cup. You can't keep giving when you're running on fumes. You need to be refilled, and God is the only one who can truly do that. Some of you have been running for so long, you don't even remember what it feels like to be rested. You've convinced yourself that this is just how life is. Constant pressure, never-ending demands, no space to breathe. But that is not the life God intends for you. Yes, there will be struggles. Yes, there will be seasons of hardship. But God never called you to live exhausted. He never called you to keep pushing to the point of breaking. He called you to abide in Him, to walk with Him, to trust Him with your burdens instead of carrying them alone. So if you're tired today, if you feel like you're at the end of yourself, I want you to hear this. God knows. He sees you, and He is not waiting for you to figure it out on your own. He is calling you to come to Him, to rest in Him, to let go of what is draining you so He can fill you with new strength. You don't have to prove anything to Him. You don't have to pretend you have it all together. You just have to come. Because the one who formed you, who knew you before you even took your first breath, also knows the exact rest your soul needs. And He is ready to give it to you if you'll just let Him. You ever feel invisible? Like you're moving through life, handling everything, doing your best, and yet somehow it feels like no one really sees you? You show up for people. You do what needs to be done. You carry the weight of responsibilities, the unspoken burdens, the pressures of life, and yet there are moments when it feels like you're doing it all alone, like no one truly understands the depth of what you're carrying. And that's the hardest part, isn't it? Not just the struggle itself, but the feeling that you're struggling in silence, that no one really notices how hard you're trying, how much you're holding in, how much it takes just to get through another day. You smile, you nod, you say, "I am fine," when people ask. But deep down you wonder, does anyone really see me? Does anyone really know what I'm going through? Let me tell you something, God does. You may feel overlooked, but you are not forgotten. You may feel unseen by the world, but you have never been unseen by God. He has watched every step you've taken. He has heard every prayer you've whispered, even the ones that never made it past a sigh. He knows the thoughts you don't say out loud, the weight you carry in your heart, the moments when you sit in silence, feeling like no one understands. And He does. People may overlook you. They may be too busy with their own lives to notice what you're going through. They may not recognize the battles you're fighting, but God has never looked away. Not once. Not for a second. He has been with you in every hard moment, in every lonely night, in every situation where you felt abandoned or misunderstood. He has been there, watching, knowing, caring, even when you didn't feel it. Some of you have been questioning, God, do you see me? Do you see what I'm dealing with? Do you see the pain, the exhaustion, the frustration? And His answer is yes. Yes, He sees. Yes, He knows. Yes, He cares. And no, He has not forgotten you. Think about Hagar in the Bible. She was in the wilderness, feeling abandoned, feeling like no one cared what happened to her. But in her lowest moment, God met her. He revealed Himself to her, and she called Him El Roi, the God who sees me. She wasn't invisible to God, and neither are you. Maybe life has made you feel like you don't matter. Maybe you've been working so hard, pouring out so much, and it seems like no one even notices. Maybe you've convinced yourself that you're just supposed to push through, to keep moving, to keep pretending that you're okay. But God is saying, I see you, I know you, I care about what you're carrying. You don't have to pretend with me. And that's the beauty of it. With God, you don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to prove your pain. You don't have to convince Him that what you're going through is real. He already knows. He already understands. And He's already moving on your behalf. See, when people don't notice, God does. When people don't appreciate the sacrifices you make, God does. When people forget to check in, when they fail to recognize what you've been through, when they overlook your struggles, God doesn't. He is present. He is aware. He is involved, and He's not just watching from a distance. He's not some far-off God who simply observes your pain. No, He is near. He is walking with you through it. He is holding you up when you feel like you can't go on. He is strengthening you when you feel like you're about to collapse. He is speaking life over you when you feel like you're barely holding on. So if you've been feeling unseen, let this be your reminder. God knows exactly where you are. He knows exactly what you need. He knows exactly how to reach you, how to restore you, how to remind you that you are not forgotten, because the God who sees all sees you. There comes a moment when you realize that no matter how strong you are, no matter how much you try to handle things on your own, you just can't carry it all. Life will push you to the point where your strength isn't enough, where your willpower isn't enough, where your ability to hold it all together starts to crumble. And when you get to that place, You have a choice to make. You can keep pushing, keep forcing yourself to carry a weight you were never meant to carry. Keep pretending that you're okay when you know you're not. Or you can surrender. Now, I know that word can be uncomfortable for some people. Surrender? That sounds like giving up. That sounds like weakness. That sounds like losing control. But let me tell you something. True surrender isn't about defeat. It's about release. It's about recognizing that you were never meant to do this by yourself. It's about placing what's too heavy for you into the hands of the one who can carry it all. Some of you have been fighting battles that God never asked you to fight. You've been trying to fix things that only He can fix. You've been exhausting yourself, running in circles, trying to figure it all out, trying to manage everything on your own strength. And God is saying, stop. Let go. Trust me. But that's hard, isn't it? Because we like to be in control. We like to have a plan, to know what's coming next, to feel like we have everything handled. And surrender requires us to step back and admit, I can't do this alone. I don't have all the answers. I don't have all the strength. I need God to step in. And let me tell you, God is ready to step in. He's not waiting for you to have it all figured out. He's not looking for you to be strong enough first. He's just waiting for you to trust Him enough to let go, to stop holding on so tightly to things that are draining you, to stop trying to force outcomes that aren't in your control, to stop believing the lie that it's all on you. You see, surrender isn't about losing. It's about gaining something greater. It's about trading your exhaustion for His peace, your stress for His rest, your worry for His wisdom, your burdens for His strength. But you can't receive what He has for you if your hands are still full of everything you refuse to release. Some of you are wondering why you're so tired, why you feel so heavy, why it seems like no matter what you do, you can't find relief. And it's because you're still holding on to the pain of the past, holding on to the fear of the future, holding on to the idea that if you don't do it, it won't get done. But God is saying, let me take it, let me carry it, let me be what you need. Because when you surrender, you're not giving up. You're giving in to something greater. You're allowing God to be God in your life instead of trying to play His role. You're stepping into a place of trust where you no longer have to figure it all out because you know the one who already has. And here's the beauty of it. When you finally let go, when you finally release it into God's hands, you don't just find relief. You find rest. You find freedom. You find the strength you've been searching for, not because you mustered it up on your own, but because God is supplying it. So whatever it is that's been weighing you down, whatever it is that's been keeping you up at night, whatever it is that you've been trying to carry alone, God is saying, give it to me. Trust me with it. Lay it down, because the moment you surrender is the moment you step into the peace you've been longing for. There comes a point in life where you feel like you have nothing left to give. You've prayed, you've pushed, you've tried everything you know how to do, and yet the weight of it all still sits heavy on your shoulders. And in moments like that, when you feel like you can't take another step, it's easy to wonder if God has forgotten about you. It's easy to feel like your strength is running out and there's nothing left to hold on to. But let me tell you something. When your strength runs out, that's when God's strength takes over. When you come to the end of yourself, that's when He steps in. Because He never intended for you to walk through this life on your own strength. He never asked you to carry the weight of your struggles alone. He is the God who renews, the God who restores, the God who gives power to the weak and strength to the weary. You may feel like you're barely holding on, But God is not going to let you fall. He promised in His word that those who wait on Him will renew their strength, that they will mount up on wings like eagles, that they will run and not grow weary, that they will walk and not faint. That means you don't have to rely on your own ability to keep going. You don't have to muster up strength you don't have. You just have to trust in the one who gives it. Some of you have been running for so long that you don't even remember what it feels like to be refreshed. You've been operating on empty, trying to keep up, trying to be strong, trying to make it work. But God is saying, come to me, let me fill you back up. Let me give you the strength you need. Because the truth is, you can't do this on your own. You weren't designed to. You were designed to depend on Him. Think about Elijah when he was running for his life. He had just experienced a great victory. He had just seen God move in a powerful way. But now he was exhausted, afraid, and ready to give up. He laid down under a tree and said, Lord, I've had enough. And some of you feel exactly like that. You're at the point where you're saying, God, I've had enough. I don't know if I can keep going. But do you know what God did for Elijah? He didn't scold him. He didn't tell him to be stronger. He sent an angel to feed him, to strengthen him, to remind him that his journey wasn't over. And that's what God wants to do for you, because this is not the end of your story. This weariness you feel, it's not permanent. God is going to renew you. He's going to give you what you need to keep going. He's going to breathe fresh life into you, fresh strength, fresh endurance. But you have to be willing to receive it. You have to be willing to stop trying to do it all on your own and let Him be your source. Some of you have been looking for strength in all the wrong places. You've been trying to push through in your own ability, relying on your own energy, depending on your own wisdom. But human strength runs out. Human endurance fades. That's why you feel exhausted. That's why you feel drained, because you weren't meant to run this race on your own power. You were meant to run it with God, to let Him be the one who strengthens you, who sustains you, who carries you when you feel like you can't take another step. So if you're tired today, if you feel like you've given all you can and it's still not enough, let this be your reminder. God's strength is made perfect in your weakness. He is not asking you to be superhuman. He is not asking you to have it all together. He is asking you to trust Him, to lean on Him, to let Him fill the places that are empty, to let Him restore what has been depleted, to let Him renew you from the inside out. Because His strength never runs out, His power never fades, and when you put your trust in Him, you will find that even in your weakest moments, He is more than enough. There comes a point in life when you start wondering if the struggle will ever end. You've been faithful, you've held on, you've done everything you know how to do, and yet it feels like nothing is changing. The weight of waiting, the exhaustion of enduring, the frustration of not seeing the breakthrough, it wears on you. And the longer it lasts, the harder it gets to believe that there's something good on the other side of it. But let me tell you something. Just because you don't see movement doesn't mean God isn't working. Just because things haven't changed yet doesn't mean they won't. Just because you're still in the storm doesn't mean He's not bringing you through it. The process may be painful, but the promise is still intact. What God spoke over your life, what He placed in your heart, what He has planned for you, it has not been forgotten. It has not been canceled. It has not been denied. Some of you are in a season where you feel like you're in between. You're not where you used to be, but you're not where you thought you'd be by now. You're standing in that place where the promise seems distant, where hope feels thin, where faith is being tested. And that's when the enemy starts whispering in your ear, Maybe it's not going to happen. Maybe you misunderstood. Maybe you should just give up. But let me remind you, the enemy wouldn't be fighting you this hard if there wasn't something worth fighting for on the other side of this. The pressure you feel, that's an indication that there's something valuable inside of you. The weariness you feel, that's because you're closer than you think to what God has in store. The enemy knows that if you keep pressing, if you keep trusting, if you keep standing, you're going to see what God promised come to pass. And he can't afford for you to make it to the other side. That's why you feel the weight of discouragement so heavy. That's why doubt is trying to creep in. That's why the temptation to give up is stronger now than it's ever been. Because the breakthrough is closer than it's ever been. The blessing is closer than it's ever been. And the only thing the enemy can do is try to convince you to quit before you get there. But don't you dare give up now. Don't you dare let go now. You've come too far. You've fought through too much. You've endured too long to stop here. The same God who brought you this far is not about to leave you now. The same God who has sustained you, who has carried you, who has kept you through everything you've already been through, he is still working. He is still moving. He is still making a way where there seems to be no way. Think about the children of Israel when they were standing at the edge of the Red Sea. They had an army chasing them from behind, an impossible obstacle in front of them, and fear telling them that it was over. But what they couldn't see was that God had already made a way. What they couldn't see was that the wind was already shifting, that the waters were already beginning to part, that the breakthrough was already happening even before they knew it. And some of you are standing at your own Red Sea right now. You're looking at what's in front of you and thinking, there's no way through this. But what you don't realize is that God is already making a way. He's already shifting things. He's already moving behind the scenes. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not happening. Just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it won't. This is not the time to give up. This is not the time to turn back. This is the time to stand firm, to keep believing, to keep trusting, because the same God who was faithful before will be faithful again. The same God who made a way then will make a way now. And if you don't quit, if you don't let go, if you don't give in to the voices of doubt and fear, you will see what God has promised. Because the breakthrough is coming, the answer is coming, the way is being made. And if you hold on just a little longer, you're going to see it for yourself. There comes a moment when you have to realize that everything you've been through, every struggle, every setback, every tear you've cried, it wasn't for nothing. It wasn't wasted. It wasn't meaningless. God has a purpose for everything you've endured, even the things that didn't make sense, even the things that broke you, even the things you never saw coming. Sometimes, when you're in the middle of it, it's hard to understand why things are happening the way they are. You pray, and instead of things getting better, they seem to get worse. You trust, and instead of doors opening, they keep shutting in your face. You hold on, but every day feels heavier than the last. And you start to wonder, God, where are you? What are you doing? Why am I going through this? But what you have to understand is that nothing is wasted in God's hands. Nothing you've been through is without purpose. He sees the bigger picture when all you can see is the pain. He knows what he's shaping in you when all you feel is the breaking. And sometimes the very thing that feels like it's tearing you apart is the thing he's using to position you, to prepare you, to strengthen you for what's coming next. Some of you have been through so much that you don't even recognize yourself anymore. Life has changed you. Struggles have shaped you. Battles have left scars, but let me tell you something. Those scars are not signs of defeat. They are proof that you survived, Proof that the enemy tried to take you out, but God kept you. Proof that even when you thought you wouldn't make it, grace carried you through. And if he brought you through it, he has a reason for it. Joseph went through betrayal, false accusations, imprisonment, one hardship after another. And if you looked at his life in the middle of his struggle, it would have been easy to think that God had forgotten him. But what Joseph didn't realize was that every pit, every prison, every painful moment was preparing him for the palace. What looked like setbacks were actually setups. What felt like rejection was really redirection. And when the time was right, God revealed the purpose behind every trial. And the same is true for you. What you thought was breaking you was actually building you. What you thought was punishment was preparation. What you thought was a dead end was really a doorway. God has been working behind the scenes, turning your pain into purpose, your struggle into strength, your trials into testimony. You may not see it yet, but that doesn't mean it's not happening. You may not understand it yet, but that doesn't mean there isn't a plan. God is not just bringing you out of something. He's bringing you into something greater. And when he gets through working all things together for your good, you're going to look back and realize that not a single tear was wasted. Not a single moment was in vain. Every hardship had a purpose. Every loss was making room for something greater. Every delay was setting you up for something bigger than you imagined. Some of you have been asking, why did I have to go through this? Why did I have to struggle like this? Why did I have to lose what I lost? And God is saying, because I was preparing you, because I was refining you, because I was getting you ready for what's next, because I saw what you couldn't see, because I know where I'm taking you, and I needed you to be strong enough to handle it when you get there. So don't despise the process. Don't let the pain make you bitter. Don't let the waiting make you doubt. God has not forgotten you. He has not abandoned you. He is not finished with you. The same God who brought you through the fire is about to reveal why you had to walk through it in the first place. And when he does, you'll see that it was all worth it. Because nothing is wasted. Not the pain, not the tears, not the waiting. God is using it all for something greater. And if you just hold on a little longer, you're going to see it for yourself.